it also brings me to another chapter of my professional life. 11 years ago, I was also on the way out from posting in an African country, but an East African country, namely Kenya. And in Kenya, with 12, I had met with Jafat at a reception National Day. It was the National Day of Iran. Those were different days also for us Europeans. And so I met Jafar, and actually, I'm not going to say much about it because we've specifically kept this an interview to make this interactive and we'll also be able to then also ask questions. But at the time when we met, he was walking very long distances. And even after I left Kenya during my time in Brussels and Geneva, we kept contact. And I heard many things about the next chapters in his life. And those were sometimes, it sometimes sounded a bit like an action movie, but not necessarily always a happy one. But, there were many twists and turns. And that is what is the book he wrote is all about. It's now just out, and he absolutely wanted to share it with you and with me before I'm out of my second African posting, before I'm on Asia. So, Jaffer, you're welcome. I'm happy that you made it all the way from the UK here to share your story and your book with us. And my very talented first secretary, the head of our political and economic section, Doreen Claremont, will be the one asking a few questions to Jaffer, after which you will also be able to interact. So I gladly leave the floor to those two.
Thank you, Ambassador, and good evening again. Thank you for all being here. It's an honor to welcome Jeffrey Isaac next to me and to interview such an honorable author. So I'll ask a few questions to him, and afterwards I'll likely hand over for some of you to answer some questions. So Jeffrey Isaac, after having participated in international peacekeeping forces in ex-Yugoslavia in the 90s of the last centuries, you find yourself crisscrossing your own country, Kenya, by foot, walking 1,500 kilometers from Nairobi to Mombasa and to your hometown Moyale at the Kenyan-Ethiopian border. In that part of the world, seeing people make such physical efforts as non-professional sportsmen is still a rare occurrence. What inspired you to do these walks, and what purpose did they serve?
Thank you very much, everybody who is here with us today, and especially I don't call him friend, my brother Peter, um, from another mother. Um, Sometimes my relationship with him reminds me or give us hope that humanity can come together, regardless of your tribe, regardless of your religion, regardless of your whatever you are. And we need to live a life like this. We need this kind of humanity, the society that we need to live together. So thank you for that. To answer your question, my life, I think I'm somebody who tries very difficult things than my weight. I just found myself like that. Um, but just to take you slightly back, I moved to United Kingdom almost 25 years ago as a very young man. When I arrived in United Kingdom, I did not have any formal education. I just found myself after leaving the military in the UK. And what moved me then, even as a young man, why don't we have this in Africa? My colleagues, diaspora people enjoy the building and the M1, those who know England, the big highways. But I kept asking myself, why don't we have this? And it never left my mind. From that day, I stepped in Europe and I became fascinated and I became a victim of it because I was so passionate about it. For many years, I tried to ask people and it didn't work. And then I said, one time I came back to Nairobi, I said, how can I put my voice to this society so I can be heard? I'm a poor man, not educated, come from a very poor family. Who will listen to me? And as former soldier said, you know what? Say something so crazy that they will give you attention. Even if they laugh at you, but they will give you attention. That is the most important. Then I decided to declare to run for president in Kenya. I know it's crazy, but if you go and Google my name, you'll find it. I just wanted a small platform to say what I feel. Even high school certificate, I had to drop out. And I said, if I drop out, okay, I'm still burning inside. What can I do? And that is when the work coming down. I'm a poor man. Africans, over the years, my experience, we have a problem. We sometimes we may be blaming the leadership in Africa. Most of the time, the biggest blame comes to the ordinary person. I said, what can I do to get these people? I came with an idea. And the idea is to walk from Mombasa, one end of Kenya, to Moyale, where I'm born, Ethiopia border. It's 1,500 kilometers. And I said to myself, if I walk, nobody will ask me for bribe. That's for sure. Nobody will ask me for free t-shirt. That's for sure. But at least you'll say, why is this crazy guy walking? At least I'll get that. And I walked. It was really difficult. A bit of it I've written in the book, but it was difficult. That is where Peter, we worked with Peter in Nairobi, with all the ambassadors, including, I remember, Deputy Ambassador of US was telling me, you made me walk in Nairobi. I've never walked in Nairobi. So we did that. And after that, I was told by the common people, can you do register a political party, we can come together, which I did as well. And the rest is history. So what motivated me to work is to add my voice so the African can hear. What we all burn. We all in here, everybody's burning in their own ways. But how we get it out is a different story. So to get the platform, I decided to work. That was what happened.
That's beautiful, but we also know from your book that the long distance walking chapter of your life wasn't that easy always. You even received death threats, you were falsely accused, and had to run for your life. Can you explain how this occurred and what the consequences were for you and your family's life?
Thank you very much. This part now is the most challenging for me even today. As I said, I did not go into politics because I'm powerful. I did not go to politics because I had money. I was desperate. 90% of Africans are desperate today. As we speak here, desperate. I wanted corruption to end, people to be honest with one another, the little we have to develop the nation. But I had a problem, and I think what the major problem that I've had when I went into the public, three problems came to me. One, I live in Europe. Always they thought Peter and the rest of the ambassadors are giving me millions of money. They always thought the Europeans are behind me because I dine and with them all the time. Peter is my witness. I've never went to one embassy, except of course having tea in the embassy. Took a coin, never. But these politicians, they feared me because thinking is the Western country behind me. Not the case. Number two, I'm a Muslim. It's a scary combination, I will tell you in a minute. They think maybe some terrorists are behind me, supporting me. Because if you are Muslim in the world, in the entire world, one of the easiest things you can be branded is terrorist. Easy. The state will just tell you, because you're called Muhammad, you're terrorist, and that's good enough. Number three, I'm a former army man. Maybe the army are behind me. You know, every politician in Africa, they don't sleep at night because they know they're doing the wrong thing. They never sleep. So when they see somebody who is not asking for money from them, this person is dangerous. So let's silence this guy. So how did it start? First of all, they started by saying I'm a conman. For years, I'm a conman. Nobody took me to court, but it's the propaganda and there I'm a conman. And I said to my people, you know what? Let them say it. We keep moving. Then that did not work. They tried to say I'm a rapist. Literally, the people who are volunteering in the office, two women paid money, planned, programmed to say I raped them. It's a serious accusation. But by good Allah, because I'm an honest person, God stood with me. One of the women changed her mind and said, no, he's an innocent guy. I cannot do that. I was safe there. That one did not work. Now they decided that there's so many other stuff that is in the book, probably, or maybe I forgot, but then finally, they tried. They came to me because I live in England, I just came for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. CID came to me in Kenya, my office. They said to me, next election, because you're army man, get gunmen from Ethiopia, Belgium embassy. Peter was gone by that time. There's a lady called Hilde. And I said to Hilde, switch off everything. Let's walk to the garden. Let's go in the garden. Because every bag, maybe there's somebody listening to us. And I told her, it's the story. And Hilde said, oh, Belgium embassy is very small. Let's call British. The rest you will read in the book. That's one. That was that, and did not go anywhere. That's one. This one did not succeed. Then I said, I was told, by the way, I spoke to our deputy speaker of parliament, and he said to me, Zafar, you bring those people, you are dead. You don't bring them, you are dead. Either way, you're a dead man walking. So save yourself. And I said, okay, what can I do? I went to Moyale, where the border Ethiopia. My mom lives there. This campaign is ongoing. I said that they think I'm doing something, but I was not doing something. I was planning how to run away. The goodness, the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court nullified the election of the presidency. So everything was in disarray. So nobody really wants to kill the president because we have a problem already in the country. I flew back to Nairobi, took a plane, hope go. Never again went back to Nairobi for a year. I stayed away from out, and then I thought maybe they'll forget. I flew in back after 12 months. My first time in my life to be arrested. I was arrested in the airport, no reason, arrested. And I was kept in the airport, and I was told by the immigration officers, orders from above. Wow. Is something wrong with my passport? No. What is that, man? No, nothing. Orders from above. We have nothing against you. Okay. I was kept there for 2 hours by immigration. This plainclothes came, picked me up, orders from above, handed over to another plainclothes, and I was taken to the forest where they normally kill politicians. But maybe luck, I put on a Facebook, and my wife came to pick me up. So my wife did not get me. She had to drive back. Before they took my phone, and I'm now panicking, I sent the number of director of prosecution number to my wife and political director in the office of the president number to my wife and tell them what is going on. When I was taken to the forest, they started beating me down here. My left leg, sometimes I'm in pain, even today, many years. But I think the Facebook post that I was forced to remove, they started arguing among themselves. People know he's here, and we're the one who took him. You want to destroy our life. That is how I was taken back to the police station in the evening. It was on a Saturday, I remember. My wife also came. I managed to talk to the authority. Well, now the chief justice, the director of prosecution, spoke to the director of CID, and the whole thing went out. So there's nothing they could do. They gave me bond, free bond on a Saturday. I went back home in my pain. I can't talk because I'm now fearing everything. I fear my own shadow. Don't know who to talk to, who to trust. And I said to my wife, you know what? Let's hide this pain. Let's be soldiers here. Keep quiet. And we kept quiet. Monday, I went back to the police station, and everybody's running away from me. And finally, they're coming around and say, oh, there's a lady accusing you. Oh, okay. She paid your political party office 2 million shillings, and that's why we arrested you. What does that have to do with me? It's a political party. It's a civil issue. If it is there, it is a lie, but it's a civil issue. What does that have to do with me? Anyway, they released me, and the lady, the CID lady, again in the book, the CID lady who took my interview followed me outside to the parking and told me, Your Excellency, I just love your story. I've been following you on the media. You will be destroyed here. Your image will be destroyed. It's much bigger thing coming to you. My advice to you, write a letter to the authority. At least you have evidence somewhere. You've written a letter.